Thomas Nelson Community College's ever-increasing enrollment requires an immediate and continuing facility development plan to meet the educational needs of our jurisdictional constituents, including the Upper Peninsula. Opportunity truly knocks, and recently a unique opportunity has offered an immediate solution to the college's increased facility needs. A major corporation on the peninsula has indicated its interest in contributing land and buildings to Thomas Nelson Community College. Allow me to take a few minutes to describe this opportunity, and let's take a tour of the site and its facilities. The BASF Corporation is a major international diversified products corporation. Its Fibers Division headquarters are located in Lower James City County on the James River, approximately 1.3 miles southwest of U.S. Route 60. BASF purchased this property in 1955. The BASF Fibers has announced that they will be vacating their property in James City County during the current year. Their corporate administration will be relocated to Charlotte, North Carolina, and their technical laboratories and support areas will be moving to Dalton, Georgia, to be relocated closer to their customers, especially their major carpet manufacturers. The administrative move will occur in July, and the technical and support move will occur in December. The original contact with BASF was made by Roy Budd, and a second visit by TNCC administrators, myself and Roy Budd, was conducted with the following BASF contacts, including a tour of the facility. Wayne Godwin, the international president of BASF Fibers. Jim O'Donnell, the assistant to the president, Realty and Property. And the tours were conducted by Jack Rollins, the BASF supervisor for communications and office services. The preliminary discussions focused on TNCC's need and use of the site and the potential advantages to BASF for a direct contribution to Thomas Nelson Community College. A third visit to the site was made by myself and Ray Wharton to further evaluate the facilities, and a more detailed tour was conducted again by Jack Rollins. We were also accompanied by Marlene Waters, who did the videotaping of the facilities and grounds, which we are now viewing. There is no knowledge by Thomas Nelson officials that BASF is negotiating with other clients and or donees. However, there exists the possibility that BASF has conducted discussions with other higher educational institutions in the area. BASF has been receptive to the TNCC interest and indicated that due to the short time in terms of their departure, that the TNCC's further interest would need to be returned to BASF within days, certainly by the end of March. BASF has also indicated that the factor of the best value for appraisal purposes would not only benefit BASF in terms of their contribution of the land and buildings, but also in consideration by their broker, appraiser, and potential developers of the adjacent land sale, which we'll discuss later. The sales portfolio, then, would be developed with this factor considered. As a description of the site, the property encompasses approximately 35 acres and 3 major buildings approximating 300,000 square feet. One additional production building currently being used by the Mann Corporation is also available from BASF. But due to the type of building and nature of its use, principally production, it has not been considered. The property is situated on the east bank of the James River and offers a panoramic view of the river at its Kings Mill Bend across from the Hog Island Game Refuge, offering miles of a water view, including the river's shipping channel. The site elevation is at least 25 feet above the James River water level, and the site has never been threatened by James River floodwaters, and even during the major floods of earlier years, the floodwaters only rose approximately 5 foot on the escarpment. The property access road is owned by BASF, including the access through the Mann Corporation property. The Mann Corporation currently pays 40% of the cost of maintaining this road. This road will eventually be accepted by the State Highway Department and will be used by the Mann Corporation and also as an access to the southbound 700 acres to be developed. Within the next 2 to 5 years, however, a new I-64 interchange will be constructed permitting direct access to the property on the northeast corner. It will also provide direct access to the James City Commerce Center and will have an interchange at US Route 60. Current site parking on the 35 acres includes 350 paved parking spaces and 150 unpaved spaces. Adequate road, building, and parking lot lighting exists. The property is clearly demarcated on the north by recreational property currently leased to James City County, on the east by Mann Fibers Corporation, on the south by approximately 700 acres, under current consideration for sale by BASF for development, and on the west by the James River, approximately 1 mile or better in breadth. The adjacent property description and projected use for consideration of the acceptance of the site is on the north. This recreational property adjoins the famous Carter's Grove Plantation property and encompasses recreational playing fields, shelters, and supporting facilities for recreational use. James City County currently leases this property for $1 per year from BASF and is interested in acquiring this property. The property also adjoins the James City Commerce Center of approximately 219 acres, which is planned to be fully developed within the next 2 to 5 years, including the new I-64 interchange, which will directly access this property. The property also contains 2 major underground pipelines, Virginia Natural Gas and Commonwealth Gas, egressing from beneath the river. No structures would be constructed over these lines. However, it is important to note that no pipelines are found beneath the property in consideration of the donation from BASF to Thomas Nelson Community College. On the east, the Mann Fibers Corporation property, which is approximately 44 acres, was previously sold by BASF to one of their prior R&D directors, Joe Mann, and the plant currently is in acrylic fiber production and has direct access to the CSX rail. The rail access line lays parallel on the east to the entrance road, and the access road is currently designated as private, and a guardhouse controls access to the property currently for both Mann and BASF. The current entrance road to the BASF property ingresses through the Mann property, and BASF noted that in the event that the Mann Corporation would fail, they have the option to reclaim the current service utilities on the Mann property. On the south, the undeveloped 700 acres on the south is proposed for sale by BASF, who have already retained an international realty broker and will soon be commissioning realty appraisals. BASF plans for sale and eventual development will reflect the status of the proposed 35 acres under consideration by TNCC and will have a material impact on both the appraisal and the development of the adjacent land. BASF also has a reclamation plan to reclaim part of this property when they leave, since a river unloading dock and piping will be removed. BASF also noted that their access road from US 60 will soon be eligible for the state to assume maintenance responsibilities. However, it is important to note that the reclamations considered on this property does not involve the property in question for contribution to TNCC. On the west, the current site sits on an approximately 25-foot escarpment overlooking the scenic James River. BASF will reclaim their piping and loading docks on the south property. No reclamation is needed on the site under consideration since it has not been used as a production site. Building number 203 originally contained a dump site associated with the chemical waste generated in the laboratories, but BASF remediated the dump site for EPA compliance in earlier years. BASF claims no chemical spills on this administrative property, with the exception of an automobile antifreeze spill, which was quickly contained and cleared. No known non-tidal wetlands property exists, and the property appears to have good drainage to the river. The description of the buildings. There are 3 major buildings located on the site in question. The buildings encompass approximately 300,000 square feet. Building 201 contains 3 sections which were built in 1957, 1969, and 1974. They include the executive section, which was remodeled in 1987, encompassing 69,000 square feet. They include the administrative support section, remodeled in 1981-82, which includes 24,000 square feet. The administrative support, and cafeteria annex, which was built in 1974, includes 14,400 square feet. Building 202, which includes BASF's technical laboratories and support, was built in 1958 and remodeled in 1985-86 with an approximate 68,000 square feet of floor space. Building 203, which is currently a vacant administrative and laboratory building located adjacent to the other 2 buildings, was constructed in 1958 and includes an approximate 125,000 square feet. The approximate total square footage of the 3 buildings under consideration approximates 300,400 square feet. As previously mentioned, one additional building, BASF building number 218, is currently available, but due to its type and use does not appear appropriate for TNCC's further consideration, even though BASF has offered the building for our consideration. The interiors of the building range from well-appointed administrative office and conference areas to maintenance support areas. The administrative building fronts the James River and offers a panoramic view of the river at its Kings Mill Bend, offering miles of a water view. Administrative areas contain built-in cabinets, and there are numerous executive conference rooms, including electronic conference rooms, with adjoining kitchen units. BASF currently utilizes telephone lines for intercorporate telecommunications on a long-distance service from Sprint. Administrative areas contain land coaxial cable for telecommunications interconnectivity throughout all BASF buildings. Facility conference rooms have variable light controls. Specific areas contained within the buildings also include numerous conference and meeting rooms with a well-appointed decor and carpeted floors. In fact, the architectural firm of Henvey, used incidentally by Thomas Nelson Community College for its campus-wide renovation, has also been the consulting interior designer on the BASF administrative areas. The technical research laboratory areas would appear to be easily convertible to academic laboratory areas. Larger areas exist for flexible manufacturing program, and it is noted that special care has been taken to design and provide a healthy environment. The buildings have been well maintained, and only moderate renovation would be required in many areas, no renovation in others. Specialty areas include a full kitchen, cafeteria, and dining rooms. Computer rooms with raised floor and fire-protected vault. Library, in fact, 2 areas currently used by BASF for library purposes. Audiovisual production studio. And an employee health care center. BASF has previously indicated their willingness to include the kitchen and cafeteria equipment, with the exception of the ice-making machine and coffee machine, as part of their contribution. This would include equipment such as refrigerators, freezers, and cafeteria cooking and serving equipment. However, BASF does not intend to leave the cafeteria dining room tables and chairs. They will be relocated. The contribution of other BASF equipment has not been addressed. The more expensive administrative equipment will be relocated to Charlotte and Dalton, but the disposition of other well-conditioned equipment is being considered for donation. The college has indicated its interest in this equipment. Many of the floors are reinforced concrete capable of carrying heavy stress loads. Compressed air from the Mann Corporation through interconnect piping is available to all the corporation's technical laboratories. In many of the support areas, high ceilings are present. In fact, in the warehouse, the ceilings are very high, and due to the area of the main floor, a minimum of 75 feet wide and 115 feet long, a modest renovation could avail a full-size gym. Clothing locker rooms are approximately located. However, this one area is not air-conditioned. BASF has previously undertaken an extensive asbestos evaluation and removal program, including the removal of piping, floors, and ceiling. No current friable asbestos remains. One section of the tile floor, which currently contains asbestos, however, is not friable. Buildings 201 and 202 contain operative ADT, fire and intrusion alarm. Smoke detectors and emergency lighting in these buildings are also present. Water sprinklers are located in buildings 202 automated and 203 partially automated. BASF buildings have not been considered as public access buildings under ADA, and therefore no elevators have been installed. Since 2 of the 3 buildings have joined, 2 elevators would be needed in order to fully comply with ADA requirements. Numerous ADA compliance actions have been taken by BASF, but additional restroom accessibility and modification of water fountains will still be needed. Building roofs are in very good condition and have been recently replaced. All roofs, with the exception of the warehouse, are built-up ones. Building HVAC systems are operable and in numerous areas are oversized and have been recently overhauled. Building 201 contains a new cooling tower. Current HVAC systems are maintained under a service contract with the Daymuth Corporation. Containment and treatment of industrial floor runoff from the BASF technical laboratories is currently serviced by mutual agreement with the Mann Corporation. The site utilities are discussed next. The site is served by the James City County Water. Although the Mann Corporation operates a wastewater plant to serve BASF, a county wastewater line is available near the entrance access road, approximately 1.3 miles from the site. The site also includes a working well on the south end of the property. Steam heat to all of the site's buildings is provided by Mann Fibers, but BASF personnel maintain the service lines. All administrative and technical working areas are air-conditioned. Some limited support and storage areas, including the warehouse, are not. It is also noteworthy that BASF has implemented an energy conservation program in Building 201. I trust that this videotaping has provided a better insight to the value of this potential contribution to Thomas Nelson Community College. The opportunity, however, will require the support, effort, and commitment of many in order to make this a reality. But it is truly a unique opportunity that can allow Thomas Nelson Community College to better serve the educational needs of the Virginia Peninsula.